We have got special work to use our superior knowledge to solve human problems, but also to glorify God. Now, much later, in the New Testament, he talks of the parable of the talents. Those who use their talents well and multiplied them were praised. Those who did not, God was not happy with them. Not only that, this pandemic, these diseases, they are mentioned in the Bible. The lepers who came and met Jesus and shouted from a distance. I didn't ask my daughter, the priest, to tell me that she would have quoted it for me. Where these lepers stood afar and shouted to Jesus, said, "Master, have mercy on us." This is in the Bible. I didn't pick it from Rakitura. It is in the Bible how you avoid sickness. They stood far and shouted because that society, although they didn't have the medicine for leprosy, they knew how to avoid it. It's provided in the Bible there. But people don't listen. People don't listen. They don't do their mandate. Because God gave them the intelligence which is superior to the cows. The cows don't know that. They don't know that if this cow is sick, the other one should not come near it. But you know, in the Bible, 2,000 years ago, they stood far and shouted, and they were wearing bears. They were wearing bears. I think they would go with bears. This one, Tonsemberera, this Tonsemberera, it is there in that book. What book is that? My priest. I have got a priest in the house here. Come and read the priest. Oh, it is what? Leviticus.
No, sorry.
Leviticus.
No,
Luke.
Luke 17.
Luke 17. This is in the New Testament. My girl also is confusing me. Luke. Now, some of the preachers preached about the issue of jemu, obutawuliriza. This is why we have got this new epidemic. Because when it started, I shouted to you, like Bishop Mwesugo was saying, that when you see the danger, you blow the horn in Zamba, Kateri Zamba. I blew the horn, me as your leader. On the 18th of March, I said, "Wanange too far, you're going to die. Please." This is how you avoid the virus. You heard Bishop Sheldon say that he had actually invited me. I refused and said, "Sigenda yo," for the wedding, the other wedding of the other year. He said, "I am not coming." The Archbishop of Canterbury came here. He wanted to greet me. I said, "No, sorry, I didn't shake his hands." And after, by that time, I had not announced the lockdown. I did not shake the hands of the Archbishop of Canterbury. No. They said there was blessing there. I said, "No. You keep your blessings. I will not shake your hand." So, and when we did that, because we did that, you hear now that even now, even with the carelessness, 800 and I don't know how many people have died now. 800 and how many? 800? 846 in 1.5 years. And most of them are in the last few weeks. Because before, it was only 300 people who had died in 1.5 years. In New York City, more than 1,000 were dying every day. For us, we are talking of 800 in in almost 2 years. Why? Because we had listened. We had listened to the command of God in the book of Genesis, establish dominion over nature. Establish dominion over creation. This is a virus. It started, but we quickly knew how it behaves. And we told you, we told everybody. But people don't listen. Whatever man sows, that's what he reaps. Now, so therefore, the biggest problem is not doing our mandate of using the knowledge which God gave us, the superior knowledge. Science is understanding the work of God. That's what science is. When you say gravity, I'm not the one who created gravity. These viruses are part of nature. And we, as people who are created in God's image, we know, or we can know, how to deal with them. All of them. AIDS, because this 2,000 years ago, people knew how to deal with leprosy. They didn't have medicine yet, but they knew how to avoid it. And when those lepers were healed by Jesus, Jesus told them, you go and report yourselves to the priests, to the high priest or something like that. Mugende mweyanjure ewabakabona. You go and report yourselves so that they now clear you to mix with other people. This is 2,000 years ago. So therefore, refusing to do our mandate and only saying, praying, I think there is some issue there. If I had been in the church, I would have started my own small movement there of science-led Christianity. Because this science is not it is God's natural laws, the laws of nature. You mix hydrochloric acid with sodium, you get sodium chloride, or munyu. Am I the one who created that? That's God. So all we do is to understand God's mysteries in science. These people who say there is a difference between science and religion, I don't know where they get it from. Because who created the earth? I had that problem with Dr. Rodney in the university. One of our professors was always says, but science is God's work. Gravity, the combination of elements to create compounds. Now, I'm glad here there is a little bit of waking up. Like, for instance, Magara talked about it, about the sleeping here in Africa, which I'm totally against. I've never been part of the sleeping people. In all the 60 years I was an adult, I have been against Nino, sleeping, okwebaka. I think the Africans should wake up. And even the Christians, our cluster here, the 3 or 4 billion, the Christians of all types, different groups, the Muslims, the Jews, I don't know how many they are, 3 billion, 4. I always believe that the best way to influence people is to do what Jesus advised us. Let your light so shine before men that they see your good deeds and praise your Father in heaven. This is what I believe in. Omusana gwamwe omushana gwanyu wake gutyo mumisho g'abantu barebe ebirungi byanyu bishebe n'ebishikirire bahemse ishimwe uri mu iguru. That's the Runyankore way. Influence people by example. Now, what examples are the Christians giving to the Hindus and the Chinese who believe in I don't know what? If a crisis like this comes and then we die, you saw how those Christians in Europe were dying. We were dying like flies because they had abandoned their old people, put them in old people's homes, and when the virus came, these are the ones that died in big numbers. Elders abandoned in the institutional homes by their families. That's Christian Europe. So, what are the Hindus supposed to do now? Learn from those wonderful Christians. How about us here? What example are we giving? Because here we have got some few testimonies which shows that what was done 2,000 years ago, okwewala, avoiding is a solution. Because you had Bishop Sheldon telling you that he was going to have a big gathering of 300 people, but he cancelled it. And because he cancelled it, many people survived. If they had gathered, they would have been in trouble. You had the Mufti telling you that Mama we agenda mumbaga. Yes. He was telling you here. Mama agenda mumbaga. That's where she got the virus from. So the issue is avoid. This virus is avoidable. It's avoidable. But if we don't do what we are supposed to do, then we cannot only say pray, and no effort. I reject that. I reject the idea, pray, make mistakes and then come and pray. And if I was still active in the church, I would have started my own church there. Science-led church. Because science is the study of the power of God. Now this issue, I've been seeing the debate about the essential workers. Who are the essential workers? The church people were not mentioned as among the essential workers. That's true. I was in that meeting, and I know. Now, is parental work essential work? I give you a challenge. Next time we meet, you tell me, is parental work, for instance, me, giving, is it essential or not essential? Temukidamurwa leero mugende mukirowoozeeko. Parental work. Nze omuzadde okubuulira abaana, is it essential or not essential? Parental work. Grandfatherly work, is it essential or not essential? But for instance, I have not seen my grandchildren. I've said, you children, stay away, don't come. My grandchildren, they don't come. My children here, I have met a few of them here. I say, don't come, don't tell me, no, don't come. So I'm not doing my parental work because I don't see them. But because now there is, so probably you, Jane, I think when you are discussing, it is not just essential. It is essential and emergency. I think you need to elaborate that issue. Is the nurse, is the medical worker more important than the parent regarding the sick person? Yeah, he may not be more important, but he's more needed now. More needed. So I don't know how you're going to describe that. Because you see, the whole strategy of avoiding is reducing numbers. Akakodyo kali mu kukendeeza enamba z'abantu. Now, if you say this is essential, this is essential, this is essential, when so many are essential, then what do you do? Are you reducing the numbers or what? Because that's the issue. The issue is the numbers and the oxemberegana to get near one another. That's all. It's not that this one is not important, this one is not important. No, but who is needed just now, emergency, rather than who is more useful or what? No. I think you need to elaborate that. Not now, but later on in your discussions. But the issue is the numbers. Have smaller numbers, and they shouldn't. But not that we don't think religious leaders are essential. They're essential, of course. They're essential, but what do we do now? The more people that come together, the more dangers you have. That's all. That's it. So what do we do now? We have the medical, we have this one, so whom do we okendeza abantu? Tukole tutya? That's really the issue. Now, I want to report to the country that because of our insistence on getting out of dependency, we are really moving. We are moving on the side of the diagnostics. We are moving very well. Ability to make our own diagnostics, things of camera. We seem to be moving on the therapeutics, treatments. Just a little bit on it, and Magara also talked about it, because you see here where we live, apparently we seem to have some things which are not in other parts of the world. But because of okunyooma Katonda eyatonda mu Africa. Because of looking down upon, of not appreciating the work of God who created the African. And wanting to be other people. You find African women destroying their hair, they want to be Indians. But you're an African. Why do you want to be an Indian? If you are not, I'm called a what? Mbalingo Muyindi. On TV the other day, I saw a girl. Where did you are from the cow clan? How can you have hair like an Indian? I know I don't like to speak about those things. I just keep quiet. But it's really a sickness. Now that sickness has made us people to not look at our heritage here. But fortunately, some of our science people, young people who grow up, they are beginning to see the values. And I'm just waiting for some days, weeks. We may have some solutions. Our people are also working on the vaccines, our own vaccine, because even these vaccines we are importing, they don't cover all the variants. Even we who are vaccinated for the other one now, there's a new one now. So that's why we need to, you cannot say, because I was vaccinated, therefore, no, there's a new variant, a new clan, which you may not be able to, which the vaccine does not cover. But ours, our own vaccine which we are making, will cover all the known variants. We are working on it. So therefore, I want to appeal to you, please. Be careful now. Listen to the magezi, to the strategy of Okwewara until we get to the vaccine and the treatment. What we are doing now is a temporary strategy. It is not the long-term strategy, it is the temporary. To get us so that we don't have too many numbers. But before I conclude, I want Atwine to come and tell us why are doctors not getting salaries? What is the problem? Because Atwine is there, the PS. Achenga has been campaigning, she might not know. She also went and started dancing with the Rangis. I think in her case, after God had to come physically and protect her. Because I was very worried about how the dancing with those actually, with the Rangi women. What is the issue about the salaries?
Your Excellency, last year we received one batch of allowances for doctors, which we paid, and we sent also...
So these are allowances, not salary?
No, allowances.
Okay.
It is risk allowances, but 1 week ago we sat with finance. They allowed us to use part of the money that was meant for something else, which I'm now using to pay all of them. So we are going to sort that one.
So you are saying this is not salary, but the hazard allowances?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So you can now hear. Those doctors should not slow down, because if the hazard allowances, which are top up, if they are not paid now, they will be paid later. These people are keeping the money for you in the bank. They will give you your arrears. But also there is no reason why they should not get their allowances. So I therefore conclude since I'm talking to one cluster of the human race, the Ibrahimic group, the ones who are connected in faith with Ibrahim, because you are all Ibrahimic. Whether you are Muslims or Christians of all types or Jews, you all go to Ibrahim. So for me, my involvement in that group is science-led Christianity. That's why when AIDS came, I told Bishop Museveni Kauma, I'm not going to take your Holy Communion because the priest will bring salivas of all these people. That this is a blessing. Go to hell, please. I don't need those salivas. The cup. I cannot accept that. I told Museveni Kauma, I cannot take that Holy Communion on the same cup with all the salivas in the whole church. What? Eh? I told him, I'm not going to take that Holy Communion. I don't need it. So I'm glad they brought Buriomo. I think now the Archbishop Kazimba's group, I think they bring their cup of everybody. That's how I am the one. So you should also include me in your reforms. That huh? I cannot. Saliva. What blessing is there in the saliva of all these people in the church? Huh? So please, do not misuse. Don't use the ignorance of the population. If the science is God's work. Is God's work. Now, what happened when we don't share the cup? What's the problem? And what Christianity work was there in sharing the cup? This one. All of us. That was when we had AIDS. And I would like to challenge you, next time you come, you tell me what's wrong with science-led Christian work or Islamic work. When we had Ramadan, people were saying, no, with Ramadan, if people don't gather, what will happen? Because God is omnipresent. He's everywhere. Here where we are, it's in the garden, but there is God. It's not a church, but God is here with us. So I appeal to, this is my strong belief. I normally don't talk about this, but because of the crisis, I am forced to really to speak. This crisis was caused by not listening to the mandate which God has gave us in the book of Genesis: establish dominion over nature, over creation. This virus, we know how it spreads, 2 meters from me, finish. That was the answer. Don't travel if it's not necessary. If you travel like this. All these were being ignored. And this is what we are harvesting now. So finally, the Jenna Cheng, my curfew time is almost coming. How will my people who are in the prayers go home? You better tell your enforcers, Brigadier General Soke, and your group. So, you tell them, my people who are in the prayers. With these few words, I thank everybody who participated in the prayers, and I wish you good luck. Katonda agenda kutaasa. Thank you very much. Lwali mbeera n'embiro kwotadde bwe tugamba mu lulimi lwaffe. Thank you very much.